Okay, stopping the muting. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of GBC Live as we wrap up January. And we normally talk Redlands Strada Rossa. Um, and Michael normally comes on, or Adrian. And we're excited to talk about that. This is year 12 of Redlands Strada Rossa. And I don't want to go quite right into it yet because I know some people are just getting the alerts. So this will be our little small talk section quickly. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. So thank you for having us on again, just to be able to talk about Redlands Strada Rossa and let people know if they don't know about it. So I really do appreciate the time and effort you guys put in and giving us the opportunity.
Well, I mean, if we didn't like having you on every year and going to it all the time, would be a much more a big void. But we think it's a great event and so many unique things to it. Not just how the course changes every year, but how it's run is totally different than most events and I'm glad that like every year you see people a little further away come and are real surprised of all the great gravel that you have out there.
Yeah, I noticed we have someone from Alaska and Tennessee signed up this year, and Colorado. So like those were the furthest places, that I just noticed when I was looking. So it was kind of two opposite ends, almost. It's kind of interesting. It's good.
I have family in Tennessee. I was one of my cousins.
Is it one of your
cousins coming out?
No, I don't know. I wonder.
That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that people. I mean, the Southland, we need more events, not less. And the fact that you've been around for 12 years, it's really hard to get something off the ground and sustain it and build a core of people that keep coming out over this time. So yeah, you've been there since year one, right?
No, more probably pretty heavily involved from year 4. So, but it's kind of interesting because the people who do these events can kind of sometimes be unforgiving when things go wrong. But that's kind of how you learn things. So you kind of, it's a hard game to play, trying new things to see if you can change things, but then also making sure you don't annoy people. So, just making sure you do those things. Anyway, sorry, I think I cut you off there.
That's fine. You should cut him off more often.
No, I meant to turn off my ringer. That's why it was more a face of shock that I forgot to do that. Normally, my biggest thing is cramping during shows, which I did last time. So if you see a weird face,
Well,
you'll see. So,
anyway, I am wearing a pretty old shirt.
I like that one. I was wondering if that was old or new. That's really cool.
2019. So I thought of wearing the first one we did from 2014. I thought of wearing that one. Would have been anyway. Still, I think I don't have two. One I ended up giving away, and one I just never got one. So.
I'm a big fan of wings, but what's the significance of the owl? That is an owl, right?
Yes, it is an owl. No particular reason.
Really?
I think when Mark was making the T-shirt, I think he just thought it was cool, and he put it over a bicycle wheel and the checkered flag, and so anyway, well, this became like a logo that we used a lot.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Well, last year, very impressive T-shirt. That was an owl, right?
Yes. We've kind of yelled going. you know, because we kind of liked it. So, and I think this is the first year we used the owl in the T-shirt, and then we made a big banner at the same time and used that. So we've kind of kept the owl theme going. No particular reason, although Adrian is a big bird fan, so she can tell you all the different birds.
Where is Adrian today?
Don't know. She's probably at home.
Oh.
Maybe she's watching.
Oh.
Anyway, I asked her if she wanted to join or do it alone or have me do it. And she said that you know, she was okay with me doing it. I think it, you know, would have been better looking if it was her. Anyway, it is hard to believe that this is year 12.
It's a lot, you know. I mean, hitting 10 is pretty impressive.
And the 1 year we didn't do it during COVID, you know, would have been year 13 because we started the same year the Rock Cobbler started.
Oh. Okay.
So we would have been on the same. So because he still ran events during, we funded one but never did the ride. And then so we counted it because technically we funded it. Although we did give people the option to get a refund. Some did, and many just donated the money, which was great. And then, so I think that was 2021, and then 2022 never happened because things are still shut down. And partly, you know, we ride on a lot of public land that's actually run by the Redlands Conservancy, is actually owned by the city, and so we were not. I mean, it wouldn't be an option to run it during then anyway. You know.
Well, I have to share a funny moment from Sea Otter last year. Was that, you know, we were walking around and Vic and I saw this guy. Oh, where'd it go? With the Redlands Strada Rossa T-shirt, and Vic and I were both like, "Hey, I'm wearing that shirt. I'm wearing that shirt." We both happened to be wearing. We didn't know we were wearing the shirt, and there was a rare thing of triplets that I don't know.
That was great.
Yeah. It was real. That was the highlight.
By the way, that shirt is. I always wear this shirt now. Since I got it, that's my Halloween shirt too. It's very Halloweeny.
It is, yeah. I've gotten a lot of compliments about that shirt from people, you know, who don't ride or whatever. So it's pretty cool. I was at the Oregon Gravel Grinder in 2019, and I was wearing this shirt, and some other guy was wearing it too.
Oh, wow.
What are the chances of that? Like, it was, I can't remember. He was from somewhere in LA, and he was wearing it as well. So it's kind of interesting when that happens.
Cool. Yep.
Anyway.
Well, let's get into the bones of Redlands Strada Rossa. I know that the course always changes every year, and the route is not revealed up until close to the event for not for just intrigue, but I know last year was a good reason why it wasn't revealed right away, and for the reason.
Yeah. So there's like a multitude of reasons why we don't release the routes. Like in the past, like we've had road closures, so you couldn't get to a trail. And then also we've had trails get completely washed out like a week before, and then we've had to reroute things. So it's just best if we, send it out to everyone who signed up to the ride like 3 or 4 days before with all the routes. Both with Ride with GPS and with Strava routes, so that they can use it. We did not, like, our ride is completely volunteer based. A lot of the people who volunteer in our rides do it because they have a love of, riding and riding gravel in Redlands and wanting other people to see it. And so we didn't have someone last year who was willing or able to run like a marking route. And so we didn't mark the route, although we did technically mark a couple areas just to make sure people didn't get lost. But we do have someone who's willing to run that this year. So Juan's going to be running that. And like the people who volunteer to mark their route or tear it down, because there's 2 elements to that. end up getting a ticket into the event as well. So that's like one of the things that we do. But 100% of the money that we walk away with in the event, we end up donating to the 2 conservancies in the area so that they can use that money for trail building or marking and signs. We've had a bigger problem these days with motorcycles and e-motorcycles coming into the public lands and actually like destroying some of the trails. And so just maybe marking that they're not allowed there and making it pretty clear. That's, some things that they're using the money for. And then this year when we set up the registration, we also set it up in a way where people can actually donate money directly to those 2 organizations if they want to, if they're able to. So
that's a great idea.
And we've already had quite a few people do that. So that's really awesome. They don't really have a lot of income. And so any money that they get is really helpful for their cause. Even just running a lawnmower to make sure it's not overgrown, like it is like beneficial for them. So, and then it really helps us and any of the people who are running on the trails, or using the trails, so kind of helps.
Well, I was saying last winter, we didn't have a lot of rain to start off with, and then February, March started coming in, and there was some wetness a few days before, and I was getting questions from people about oh, will this be okay? And there wasn't rain forecast for the day of, but I think the conditions, because I knew that you would work around and find the best part. It was my favorite conditions of any Strada Rossa I've done before.
Yeah, like I just did like 50 miles of that and got back early to help run things when people were finishing. And there was one section in the beginning that was like a little sloppy, but then after that, everything else I rode was just perfectly ideal. Like it was great. I do know that Adrian knows where bad trails are, like areas that hold mud, that get muddy. Some of the things that we learned in the past are like 2019, it actually rained the whole day. And it wasn't, the most fun. And then we did have like a lot of like mud areas on that day because we had so much rain the 2 days leading into the event and then on the day of the event. So, that's like one of those things where you learn from mistakes. That year, the Redlands Classic had changed their time that they were going to do the Redlands Classic to the 3rd Saturday, that 3rd week of March, which has traditionally always been when we do the 3rd Saturday of the month, usually around St. Patrick's Day. And because they moved it, we moved it to February, which is sometimes the worst rain periods that we get. And that's one of the things I learned is don't do that again. So, I think it was around like the 20th of February or something. And we just got so much rain. And like every year around there, we get like a whole ton of rain. And so that's one thing I kind of learned is like, just kind of keep it in March. We usually don't get rainstorms like that then. And then also if we do, we need to be able to like reroute things. And that's like going back to your earlier point, sending routes to, the people who are using 3 days before is a lot better. Because if we made it public immediately and then had to change it, when you have people having different routes on their devices than where we're routing them, it gets very confusing. And then people don't, like that is not a good recipe. So it's better to just make sure when you send the route, it's the correct route, and that's where you want people to go. And that's what you do. So anyway, yeah.
Well, while we continue this, I think I'm just going to play my questionable video from last year. No, actually, I told you like the first time that I came out there to ride with you, it was a big moment for my video making because I just didn't expect have like this much variety on one ride, and like being able to capture everything, because generally you go into one region and a lot of the gravel is fairly similar, but just so much variety in and about. And let me throw this one up here on the side.
It's
But-
really good to just hear that, because we get so used to seeing what we see here. It's really good for me to hear those things,
Yeah, and I mean, you just have so much to choose from. I know that there's a couple staples that go across, but there's just and I kind of go back and forth, because like I like discovering new things, but especially that descent that we have down Crafton Hills, like I kind of want to do that every year, because I think I'm doing it a little bit better every time. That's a lot of fun.
Right there, that's the part. That first part, when we first leave, that first sandy straight thing, you could cut that part out. But the rest, I love the whole thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is from 2 years before. Maybe I should fast forward this part. Bad lesson learned. Coming back.
I remember this section.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But yeah, so Adrian is the one that comes up with the course, and I know that there's a little bit difference. Well, I guess this year, instead of having 3 distances, you have 2.
Yes. So, one of the things, with marking the course that makes it so difficult is when you have 3 courses of 40 miles, like 65 miles, and then like a 85, 90 mile route, it makes it into like 145 miles that you have to mark. So to make it a little easier, we decided to just make a 50-mile route and a 75-mile route. They're all 10 miles within the other route, like kind of roughly. So if it like 50 miles is a little too far for you, you could just always, like, we don't time you. We want you to have a good time. You can always just cut out 10 miles somewhere, or cut out whatever you feel you need to in order to make it a fun, challenging, eventful day for you. And if you wanted to add more on, you're welcome. Those options always exist. And like, just the nature of people, they're always going to make it as hard as they want, like with the people around them, and ride as hard as they can. So that's always going to add that dimension to it as well. This just kind of makes it a little easier to mark the course, because it's not quite as many, and it's not so daunting for someone to like mark. It's not one person who's doing it, it's more like 12, but still. And like, we do take, the 50-mile on the 75-mile route as much as they possibly can. So, So Adrian doesn't tell me the route until she really needs to tell me the route. And that's because I run a Saturday group, and she knows I'm pretty enthusiastic, and I'd probably take the group on a lot of those. I'd probably do a large percentage of the route. So she just doesn't let me know what the route is, and that way I don't do that. Because we do get like good 20 people come out to our Saturday rides, which is a lot of fun. So, and we do a lot of the trails. So what Vic was talking about is like, just after this is the carriage trail. And then after this, you go into Trash Canyon, which there's nothing trashy about it. It's really awesome. And so it's wonderful single track. It's a little challenging. It's uphill. Actually, doing it downhill is just as much fun. And there are people who throw trash bags on the side. They've now kind of fenced it off and made it difficult for people to do that. But you can ride around the fence, but you can't drive around the fence, if you understand what I mean. So it's accessible still. And it's definitely one of my favorite trails. Joe, who made this trail, and because he keeps it up, we give him a free entry into Strada Rossa just because he makes this trail for us. Not us, but he makes it.
Joe,
And like he's put in like 5 bridges now. I think there's 5, somewhere around there.
he made the whole trail?
Well, there was a previous trail that connected to just above there. So, but the bottom piece, yeah, he pretty much made that, that bottom one. And the labor of love right there.
I knew he maintained it. I didn't know he made it.
I think, yeah, he made that. So
wow, that's an awesome trail. I love the little bridges and the whoops.
Yeah, so whoops. It's like it's fun. It's like a roller coaster ride.
It is.
Yeah,
that's a highlight.
Yeah, coming down that on a regular day, you just like really need to watch that no one else is coming the other direction.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've had a few like hello moments. Here I am. And this is Teddy's Trail, which again is also one of my favorite pieces. So, you know, and then that connects into Oakmont, which is also really awesome. So,
well, I mean, you could see in this, I was going to bring this up right now, that first of all, like this event, even though it's volunteer run and all the, you know, proceeds go to these organizations, it's still one of the lower cost events you have out there. And people just seen that picture of the aid stations. You know, aid stations are first class support out there on the course. You're not missing anything, and how you're able to do this, you know, all at the pretty low rate compared to other events is remarkable. And, you know, and I know you put a lot of time in, but, you know, this cannot come together unless there's, you know, a big cadre of people that are, you know, this involved in making this event happen.
Yeah, there's like a core group of like 4 or 5 people who really make this event really happen. You know, so, you know, we chat to each other often on rides, and, you know, we discuss things and by text and email, and we do, you know, we have a working Excel spreadsheet. Well, it's like a sheets that we work on to keep things going. You know, but, you know, it's really good that we change the course every year. There's constantly new trails. I know there will be new trails this year because I know we have some, and I'm pretty sure Adrian put them in. So, but, you know, it's we got some pretty good trails going on. I worked out from my house. You know, I can get onto dirt within about inside of 10 minutes, and I can do about 16 miles of just basic dirt and do 1 mile of road. So
can't quite pull that off here.
Yeah, and it's like out of that 16 miles, about 12 miles of it is single track. So it's like, you know, we're pretty lucky to have that kind of opportunity and, you know, have that available to us.
That's a great ratio, single track to road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me all the single track you got.
Well,
yeah, like, well, being more on the outskirts of things where we're away from, you know, that whole metropolitan stuff where you guys are, you know, we have a little more available to us, you know, that's out there. So, you know, we do a Tuesday night ride where we ride it in the dark, which I just got back from. We do, you know, a Saturday ride, and then a lot of us ride. I bump into people everywhere. So it's good. We have a good gravel community here.
I think what's also great is coming back and how, you know, make your own food there, and you have other volunteers in, and just everybody sitting around and exchanging stories and seeing people who you recognize, seeing people who you don't recognize. It all blends in really well there. And
it's a great venue. It's comfortable. It's grass. There's bathrooms. It's really, really well done. It just makes you glad. You had a nice ride, and then you get to kick it in a nice place at the end.
So the location where we do the start and finish is called Assistencia, and it is an actual mission outpost. It was part of the St. Gabriel mission, and there's like an old mission church in there. So just like the missions of California, there were 23 of them. They all had little outposts that would reach out into the areas, and that was part of St. Gabriel.
Does it have the little bell, the little mission bell that marks those?
Yeah, there's a bell. And often people sit on where the well was.
Yes, I've sat there.
Yeah, yes. And then, so.
Yeah, I love that place.
It's a really neat little place, and so the Redlands Conservancy runs that as well.
Nice.
And so, like, we rent it out from the Conservancy. I basically see it as a donation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, just a programming note that cramp just came, so a little bit earlier than usual.
What's wrong with you?
I think maybe I need was it like the Graham Norton show? I need to just be sitting on a couch instead of on chairs. So hopefully a new setup will be coming at some point.
I had mine at the beginning of the show. Yeah. So getting back to what you were saying about the SAG stops. So we've always partnered with all the bike stores in the area. We kind of understood that without their support, this event would be almost impossible to run as well. So other than just the volunteers, the 3 bike stores that we kind of lean on for help and support are like Don's Bikes and Redlands Cyclery and Ridgeline. Don's and Cyclery they've been with us since the very beginning, and they've been really wonderful supporters of our event. And Ridgeline started a couple of years back, and they've been really great and supportive as well. And they're up in Yucaipa, which is where I think we're watching the same thing. Hopefully we are. Where the video is that I'm watching anyway. So, we try to get them some exposure. We give them some basics, and then what they do with the basics to make it a really awesome SAG stop is kind of up to them. So, and they always do an amazing job, and they ride as well. They all enjoy riding. They understand what it is to run a SAG stop. So,
one time they had coffee at the SAG stop, and that was, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I had a nice cup of coffee. It was cold. It was perfect. The coffee was hot. The weather was cold.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
And I know Cyclery always cook bacon, which is always appreciated, I think, by the time you reach them, because they've often been one of the later ones. So it really depends, where you are and what you do. But
yeah,
I always try to tell them, make it your own, play music, cook something, and in the past we've had Bianchi helped us one year run a SAG stop, and we've always had 951 Bikes help us. He has young children though, so it's kind of hard for him to get out on a Saturday. And that was another thing, like going down is 75 miles made 3 SAG stops a lot more doable instead of 4. Yeah. It's always been really hard to run a 4th one. So finding another person to do a 4th one. So, yeah.
Well, last year it was also pretty remarkable. I think saw it a few seconds ago in the video, and it's too early to guarantee it, but just the snow-capped mountains that we were just underneath, that was really cool. And it was almost like you had framed every turn and every bend in there just to always be looking at them. or we were there in the northeast corner of it, and just something people just don't expect. And I know in LA, we've got the Angeles National Forest, but I think the San Bernardino Mountains are overall taller and carry a lot more snow. At least you see nearby, and we're still about 2 months away, but I mean that is something that's really cool that I know people have brought up. That's there's bacon.
There's the bacon.
Yeah, gone. That was all me. It was full when I started.
More for you guys.
Yeah. And then this section that we're riding right here, this was really cool. It kind of made me think of the movie Tron with the speed.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. And I had never done this section before too, and the following dirt as well. So it just surprises me that you get like a nice little mixture of new with the old. And this part here, it was great to be in a group because just double checking and making sure we were going the right way.
I think we went the wrong way once.
That's because you were leading, probably. Vic doesn't down the group.
No, I was following you.
Yeah, but when you're in the front, you can't be following me.
I wasn't in the front.
So we've had a lot more rain a lot earlier this year than we had last year. The grass is already way longer than this. And way greener. So, it'll be interesting. Although we don't have as much snow in the mountains because a lot of the rain we got was more tropical in nature. So it wasn't quite as cold. So, all right, on the Orange Blossom Trail.
Yeah, and then the added layer when you're coming in and just seeing all these 19th century homes, going back to the early Redlands history and orange groves, and the red car used to actually extend from the beach all the way to Redlands is remarkable. There just is a lot to absorb out there. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this guy. He just talks too much at the end of videos. But yeah, no, I mean it's just such a special ride that I love it when people come out there and they're like, thanks for telling me about it. I was so surprised. Can't wait to come back. And you getting us out there did the same thing. And we had to tell other people about it as well. So
yeah, so like some of the things that I take enjoyment from the ride is just like, there's like a number of things that I take enjoyment, but at the end when people are like meeting people that they don't know and they were like swapping stories about and they were riding together and stuff, like I take a lot of enjoyment from the fact that we're bringing people together and they're talking to each other and having fun and on the bike. The bikes bring people together, and that's a really good thing. And so I also really enjoy seeing the variety of bikes that people bring, like not just like the light black bike that you see everyone riding, including myself, but they also the people who come on these steel bikes with racks and all kinds of stuff. I just love seeing like all the very different things about all of them. And then also, like this might be one of the hardest rides that this person might be training for, and then them finishing and, I get like a lot of enjoyment from the fact that, this provided a good sense of inspiration to people that like get out on their bike every Saturday or Sunday and on Wednesday when it's cold and they didn't feel like it so that they could do this ride. I mean, I enjoy those aspects of it as well. So it's kind of good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've asked this before and it's not a race, but I mean, e-bikes are fine too, right?
As long as you can pedal them. Yes.
Yeah. We don't want those
e-motorcycles. No e-motorcycles, kids.
Well, a lot of the Conservancy lands that we go to, they're not allowed. So it's like I forget how they class. Like there's class 1, class 2, and class 3 e-bikes. But the ones that you pedal, I think, are called class 1 or class 3. I forget which way it is. Those ones are allowed. It's when they can go, when they have a throttle that goes over 28 or 25 miles per hour. Those are the ones that start becoming a problem. So, and also, if you can't pedal it, so that's the other part of it. Because, e-bikes do allow people who can't go up certain hills to be able to go up certain hills and get out there. So it does help them, but those are the pedal kinds.
Yeah. And while they do help there, I think like for some people, if it's your first time and, it's a little bit tougher on those things with the added weight, like downhill, you definitely need to have some experience riding and understanding the handling if you're going to go out to any type of gravel event for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yes, I mean, like we've had people come and do our rides, and I'll like come to the ride and then hurt themselves because they haven't done any kind of single track before in their life, and they get to Trash Canyon and it's scary.
That's a hell of an initiation if you've never done single track.
Yeah, so like I think was it last year or the year before, we had someone who was pretty local. Everyone kind of knows Tom, and he crashed there and he cracked 3 vertebrae, I think, in his neck, and he had to wear a neck brace for quite a while. So every time I go down that little dip where he crashed, I call it Tom Falls. Because he went into the ravine where when it rains, it turns into a little river, so it's like a waterfall. So Tom Falls.
This is not good marketing jargon right now.
well, look, when the three of us, we were this last weekend over at Gravel and Wine, we had someone come in with half of their handlebars thawed off, and
that guy is a stud because he did that at mile 10. He said he didn't crash; it just snapped, and he rode the entire ride with half of a handlebar.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that ride is tough with 2 hands and a proper bar.
How do you only have 1 brake now, right?
Well, he said, and shift too. So he was angling shifter. No, he had to shift. He had to shift. So he was shifting with it, dangling like that, and holding on. But luckily, maybe he's right-handed. It was the right side that was still complete. Either way, that guy's a stud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the point I was trying to make was that we saw that Gravel and Wine. We've seen frames break at Rock Cobbler, but I've never seen anybody walk into a finish at Strada Rossa with a totally mangled bike.
Oh no.
And I don't want to jinx it, but like I think that stuff there is pretty manageable, and it's not a race, so I think attitudes, everything else is tempered quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people can hurt themselves anywhere.
I only know of one person who crashed really hard at Strada Rossa.
How dare you? How dare you?
I saw it behind him. I got it on video.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know how to cover for that now. Well, I'm going to put the link here, and it's also in the description too for registration. Signed up. I'm already signed up. I signed up for the long. Vic, I don't know if you signed up yet. If you do the short,
I will also sign up for the long since now I know it's 75 miles. So
okay,
yes, cool.
Maybe it'll be 73, 74.
76.
That 1 mile.
But also, if you aren't watching this live, the link is underneath there in the description. Michael, do you have any parting words before we go?
Well, thank you for again allowing us to speak here, and that's always good. Always humbled by people who show up to the ride. Always nervous about it because you never really know how it's going to go. You kind of hope it works.
I wonder about that. Even after 12 times, you still get nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And then every year I tell myself I'm not going to stress about the weather.
Well, that's different. You can't control the weather.
No, you can't. And that's exactly what I tell myself. I'm like, I'm not going to stress about the weather.
Yeah, you can't control the weather.
And then I do. So anyway, but it's out of my control. But usually at the end of it, it's usually like a big sigh of relief and wow, okay, so that was fun and it all worked out. And honestly, it brings a lot of our cycling community together because a lot of people pitch in and help. I have people bringing stuff to my house like the week before the event and dropping things off, and it's kind of cool to, so our little event, yeah. But we all have full-time jobs too. Like none of us are retired and doing nothing.
That's impressive.
There's that part too. So
because it's not a little event. I've done it a few times. It's a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things have to come together to make it happen. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that you can organize way before. And then there's things that you can't do until the week before. And then there's some things you can't do until the day before. So it's like getting all of those things just lined up, organized.
No, so. I even when you get there in the morning to grab your stuff, you can tell there's a lot of institutional knowledge. People that get there, they know what they're doing. They're not panicking, searching for stuff. Once they get there, tables out, getting people ready, good to go. So, a lot of ease with everyone who organizes it. So, just kind of goes to show, like, how the experience of what a tight knit group you have.
But to anyone out there, if you've never done Redlands Strada Rossa, it is, like Zach said, one of the cheapest events that you can do. We have, like you also mentioned, Zach, like we have tons of different variety in our ride, from gravel roads to single track to rock gardens to a little bit of sand here and there, a little bit of everything, some hills, some descents. You're going to find something you enjoy and probably something you hate, but it'll be over before you know it. So it's all good. And at the end, we really do try to have a bit of a party, so it's fun.
Oh yeah, there's a band. There's a band typically playing at the end, and that's
cool. Yeah, and it's traditionally been on St. Patrick's Day, and I've usually gotten Tressa in the past to come and play the bagpipes. She hasn't done it since 2019 because she makes too much money doing it elsewhere because it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's usually St. Patrick's Day, somewhere around there. And then, but I will try to reach out and see if she's available this year. Because when you ride a single track up a hill and you have someone playing the bagpipes to Star Wars, it's pretty cool. Because that's what she does.
Is that
that's one of the things she plays?
Is that or I don't know.
For me, it is.
Okay.
I've definitely found it motivational.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Wait, does she play the Star Wars theme or like that music from the cantina?
No, the Star Wars theme.
Or Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah. No, she didn't do that one.
I'm just saying, that could be added to the repertoire.
Yeah,
could be.
Set list.
But yes, a band, some good food at the end. We usually sell some beer and things if you would like that stuff. And then, watch people mingle and meet and have fun and enjoy.
And it's an impromptu bike show, like you said. All the bikes are in there lying around. You check out other people's rigs. I like that too.
Exactly. Yeah, and I really enjoy that aspect of it, like seeing, hey, wait, that guy ran those tires. Yeah. Like in the past, I'd always really wanted, like when we first started doing this, a lot of people did this on road bikes.
Yep.
And I have not seen a
don't know
person
why.
finish Strada Rossa on a road bike like with skinny tires since like probably 2018. I don't think I've seen anyone do it since then.
If-
I would buy that person a beer.
If you did that, you'd only be doing that for attention, because that will be miserable. I mean,
Or it's your only bike. Who knows?
well, that's different. But if you just if you have a choice and you choose that, that's just attention seeking, because that's nuts. The rock gardens and there's the mud and even that very first part, you couldn't even ride that.
Hey, look, Vanderpool could probably
I think you
do his road bike better than.
Vanderpool could ride anything.
Yeah,
I've done most of our trails on the road on a road bike.
When it's wet and muddy, though, I mean,
No, not when it's wet and muddy, but I've done most of them on a road bike.
water, you're not going to make it.
I haven't done Trash Canyon on a road bike though, because
I want to see you do it. You bring your road bike. Shut me up.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a beer. You bring your road bike. Look, he's thinking about it.
It's an interesting. Do that.
Okay, I'll buy you a 6-pack.
Beer is tasty. Yes.
My road bike has 32 mil tires though, so I don't know if that's cheating.
That's okay. If they're slick, I'll let
They're
that
slick.
pass.
They're
If you
slick.
do it on a road bike, actually, I take that back. 32s, you could do it. Never mind. Never mind. All right.
That's great gravel.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, Michael, thanks so much to you, the Redlands Strada Rossa team. March 21st. Everyone, please go ahead, check it out. Like I said, it's one of the cheaper ones, and all the money goes to a good cause. So it's double goodness.
Fun bike ride.
And yeah, I mean, that's why we love being a part of it. And thanks much. And we'll see you very soon.
Looking forward to the new shirt. I want to see what the new shirt is.
Yeah, I
More
haven't seen the
owls.
design yet. Yeah,
All right.
hopefully. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.